We're joined now by Tennessee head coach Rick Barnes and student athletes Chaz Lanier and Zakai Zeigler. We will kindly ask Coach for an opening statement and then direct all questions to the student athletes. When that's finished, they can be excused and we will return to questions for Coach. Coach, if you could please start us off.
Okay. Really proud of our players' focus to get ready for this game and how hard they had to play today against a truly really Dwight Perry. I can't tell you how impressed I am with he and his staff. They play hard, they competed, and it was a hard-fought game and exactly what we thought. I thought a year ago with having Jemai and Z playing against those guys, because we had a very close game against them at our place early in the year last year. Going back to look at that, I know our players had the utmost respect for Wofford coming in. We knew it was going to be a hard-fought game because those guys have much improved from a year ago. But I just can't say enough about Wofford and their coaching staff because, again, they were really a tough opponent here in the first round. But, again, proud of our guys for having to grind it out the way we did tonight.
Quick questions for the student athletes. Please raise your hand. Second row on the left here.
Zakai, you broke the program career assist record tonight. What does that mean to you, and what did you see on the floor to get 12 tonight?
It was a really big blessing. We knew our reads that was going to be there before the game. We watched a lot of film. I got to give a lot to the coaches and my teammates. Finding a high hand, just seeing the open guy. Not trying to force too much, but breaking that record that was held for I think 50 years. I was told is a really big blessing, and it means a lot to me.
Second row on the right.
Rob Lewis from VolQuest.com. Chaz, first NCAA tournament game didn't seem like you had any jitters. How much were you looking forward to it? How do you feel about having that much success on this stage?
Yeah, I mean, these are the moments you dream of. I want to give all glory to God for putting me in this position, and a lot of credit to my teammates for going out there and getting it done today. Wofford was a very well-coached team, and we were resilient for a full 40 minutes, so I'm just super happy and excited for the next round.
More questions? Second row here on the left.
Wes Rucker, 24/7 Sports. Zakai, everybody knows what kind of player Chaz is, but as he was saying a minute ago, it's his first game at this level. Is there anything you needed to tell him about what to expect here, or with a guy like Chaz, do you just kind of let him be?
Yeah, well, we told him it was going to be tough, but, playing in the SEC, we're playing against the best teams in the country every single game. So, I feel like everybody on the team, especially Chaz, was well prepared, especially how he was guarded throughout the regular season. So, coming in, I was just telling him, it's going to be physical. Just got to keep doing exactly what you've been doing. Got to keep working for the ball when you're on the court. And, he went out there and did an amazing job. But, I got to give it a lot to the SEC. It was really tough throughout the regular season, and, he's really well prepared for it.
Staying here on the left.
Wes Rucker, 24/7 Sports. Question for both guys. There were so many points in that game where Wofford kind of tried to wiggle its way back into it, got within 8, 9, and just about every time y'all had a quick response for it. Is that just kind of the thing an old team should do in situations like that, is just kind of keep calm and keep control of it?
Can we start with you, Chaz?
Yeah, I mean, basketball is a game of runs. We knew that there was going to be some adversity throughout the game. There's going to be ups and downs. So I feel like we're a well-prepared team, very well coached, and I feel like we've been through these experiences before as a unit. So I feel like we're super resilient.
Yeah, well, I know it was going to be a lot of ups and downs. Wofford, they're a really good basketball team, a well-coached team. So, we knew that they was going to go on their runs. But, having a lot of older guys on the court at times, we knew we just got to stay calm and stay composed, and we did a great job.
Second row on the right.
Rob Lewis with VolQuest.com. Zakai, when you're out there at the start of the game, how much of a benefit do you think it is for guys like you, Jemai, who have been here before? You played almost a dozen games now.
Well, I'm not really sure how to answer that, but, every single day you got to go out there and lace your shoes up, no matter what we're playing at. TBA, we're playing at Rupp, no matter what, you still got to go out there and do what you got to do, and everybody got to do their job. So, no matter how many games you got under your belt, you still got to go out there and perform and do what you're supposed to do.
Fourth row on the left.
Yeah, Zakai, Ben Baby from ESPN. What's probably the most underrated thing that people don't recognize about Chaz and kind of the way he goes about his game, what he does on the floor? What do you think people probably don't give him enough credit for?
Me personally, I think how hard he works to get the ball. You know, I feel like a lot of people might foul him time and time. You know, he works really hard to get the ball, and you know, I'm looking for him. And, you know, other guys are looking for him. So I feel like how he moves off the ball is very underrated.
Anything else for the student athletes? Great. Thanks, guys. We appreciate your time.
Thank y'all.
Okay, just raise your hand for a question for the coach. Second row on the right.
Rob Lewis, VolQuest.com. Coach, same thing as Zakai. How much of a benefit or how comfortable is it for you as a coach when you've got guards that have played in this tournament so many times before in this opening round?
You say how hard? I'm sorry.
What's your level of comfortability or how much confidence does it give you as a coach when you've got guards like Zakai and Jemai who have played so many NCAA tournament games?
Well, again, I go back to us playing Wofford a year ago. Early in the year, Zakai didn't play very much in that game. That's when he was on a time restriction, and I think at halftime it was a 3-4 point game, and basically 4 of those 5 starters I think are back. And Jemai, and who I thought was outstanding tonight, he led us in rebounding again. Just he does all the dirty work, all the things that goes into winning. But he and Zakai just kept telling those guys all week how hard it was when it comes up. I'm sure, you know, Rob, you know, we play against a lot of those Southern Conference teams, and we know how good that league is and how competitive it is. And so we play those teams some in our non-league schedule. But having those guys, and I think Cade, I thought came in tonight and was really good coming down the stretch. But you've got to have that leadership, and I think Jordan Gainey's a part of it too now. But you need guard play, obviously, but it's what they do. Their demeanor during timeouts, their demeanor at halftime, a longer timeout tonight, halftime, and hearing them talk to the guys. That's the leadership that maybe people don't know that goes on, but we've got some of the best at doing that.
Staying on the right, fourth row.
Cameron Drummond with the Lexington Herald-Leader. Rick, you mentioned in your opening statement about being impressed with Dwight Perry and his Wofford team. I know you referenced also the game that you played against them last season. Can you just speak a little bit more on what he impresses you with, you know, as his ability to coach and lead a program in his 3rd season?
What was the first about Wofford? No.
Just you mentioned in your opening statement how impressed you were with Wofford and Dwight specifically.
I could sit here all night and rave about Dwight. I'm serious. I mean, a year ago, I remember after we played them and we knew coming in, watching them on tape, they really do a lot of movement like we like to do off the ball. They screen well. They've got really good players that have gotten better since they've been there, but he plays, you know, just high percentage basketball, and he plays complementary basketball where they, you know, they're going to make you guard. There's no doubt early, I'm sure they were hoping that we wouldn't shoot it as well as we did tonight. There's no doubt that the way they were playing our outside screens, our inside screens, and we did, you know, we were concerned about them. They came into the tournament as hot as any team in the country from the three-point line, and we were concerned about that. They got us out of our gaps early. We're normally a heavy gap team, and Dwight took advantage of it early and did what you would think he would do, and they kicked out and they hit those threes early, and we had to get out of the gap. Then they started driving the ball hard, and just, again, I can't say enough about him. I mean, just terrifically, fundamentally coached. He's got good players that have bought in, and you can tell there's a connection with those players. You can tell it. And again, I'm coming in. You know, it's always hard to win a game in this tournament, especially when you're thinking about a team that knows you. I mean, I don't think that Wofford came into this game one bit concerned about us being a SEC team, or again, because I watched them come into our building a year ago and they didn't flinch, and I knew they wouldn't flinch today when we had a lead. I didn't feel comfortable at any point in time until the very end, because they fought us in Knoxville, and I knew they would do it here today.
Back row on the left.
Gavin Allen, iHeartMedia. Coach, can you just kind of talk about going into the second round? Any key takeaways, obviously without watching any type of film necessarily, but what did you kind of see with your guys, and obviously playing this very good Wofford team? What does that kind of look like for you guys going into the second round and moving forward for you all?
Well, before we came, obviously, like every team here, we've already scouted, the everybody that we knew that we could possibly play against, and now we got a day to get ready. It'll be, excuse me, it'll be different. We won't do much physically because we were in a really physical game tonight. I think this game's gonna be pretty physical too, but the key is to get recovered. We'll get focused on it. We'll enjoy this for a little bit, get back and go to work on it tomorrow, and know that you're playing against anybody in this tournament. They're here at this time because they're playing well, and on any given night, 40 minutes is such a fine line between winning and losing, and you hope that from a scouting standpoint, I think I've got the best coaching staff in the country. They're going to do what they need to do to get our guys ready from that point of view, but we won't know that for a couple more hours, and so we'll get back and guys will get in those ice tubs and just try to get their bodies back, and because you expect it to be another grind game and hard fought and possession game.
Second row on the left.
Ryan Silvio of our report. Rick, I know Felix has done it all year, but how important are the screens he sets to get guys like Chaz opened up nights like he did?
Well, you know what? He does do a good job, and tonight he finally started getting back to really running to the rim the way that he was earlier, and those screens. And again, Cade, those are so important. And but tonight we were able to get some lobs to him because I thought he really got more aggressive getting off the screen and letting. And when we put Chaz out there on one wing and Jordan, it's hard to tag anywhere. And then when Jamal was out there, they were more. But then he started setting some really good fade screens where the Eagle hit a 3 out of it. So he kept trying to put him in a little bit of a tough situation there, and when we can get Felix running to the rim, those are the post baskets we need, and but he and Cade were big for us tonight, both of them, I thought.
Second row right here.
Wes Rucker, 24/7 Sports. Rick, I asked Zakai this a minute ago, but with a player like Chaz, the things he can do, I think everybody knows by this point, but he hadn't played in this kind of setting before. Did he do enough during the season to make you not worry about a game like this, or do you always kind of wonder in someone's first tournament game?
I don't know. Maybe sometimes we make a bigger deal of it than it really is. I mean, these are young guys that grow up thinking about this, and you go back to we've played in some really loud, hostile arenas, and you think that anytime you've got a low seed or a high seed, most of the time they start pulling for the dark jerseys, and so we've been in those situations on the road. But he's such a wonderful guy. I mean, he works hard. When you work hard at what you do, and he comes in it. I understand what you're saying, but I don't know how to answer it. I've seen some guys. I don't know if I've ever seen a guy that as good a player as him ever be scared of the moment here. I think they embrace it kind of. They really love it, and I think he was looking forward to it. And again, his demeanor hasn't changed one bit from the first time that I met him today. He's been the same Chaz Lanier in terms of the way he goes about everything that he does, and so I wasn't concerned about that. I mean, I think coaches go into game always thinking, hey, I hope we can make some shots, and but he's gotten. I mean, he had 5 rebounds tonight. He goes back a couple games now. He's really up to his rebounding game. He's driving the ball better. All those type things. It was hard for him to drive it tonight with the way they started out guarding he was coming off of it, and they were really in a little bit of a drop off our screening actions, but that's why he was able to pull up and hit that little mid-range jumper a couple times. And, I'm always wanting him to come off and shoot threes, but I finally said to him, you got to do what you think, and he's really comfortable at the mid-range as well.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.